Alan Pollock is here with us with the tech update. Alan, always enjoy this segment. And if everything that Alice talks about is so important, the markets that Matt and Les talk about, the NBA, all the stuff heretofore has been really important. But I don't think there's anything that is going to be more a part of the future of the mortgage industry than technology. And we're seeing ChatGPT, the whole I thing, not ChatGPT specifically, but the whole AI, it's showing up in everything. So looking forward to your report. What do you have for us, my friend?
All right. I'm starting off with two cool things or funny
All
things,
right.
or we always have something. So this is a weird one. Miller Lite is now selling beer mints. So for those of you that had a lot of Miller Lite during the holidays and feel like, you just can't do it during work, you can get yourself some beer mints, and they're exactly what you'd think. They're a breath freshening mint that tastes like beer.
Wow. There you
Anyways,
go.
yeah, check them
You
out.
need
Probably
a
at
mint
the
after that so you don't smell like beer?
right. I have no idea. But if you're interested, Alice, there's an article. You can just Google it and put in Miller Lite mints, and they talk all about it.
That's pretty
So,
interesting.
yeah, this is more interesting, David. I'm going to quiz you. Which sold more? Do you think it was the Rubik's Cube, the board game Monopoly, or Mr. Potato Head?
Counter to, I would say the Rubik's Cube or Monopoly, but for some reason, a potato head?
It's Mr. Potato Head, I would bet.
All right, we're going to take Alice, what do you think?
Mr. Potato Head. I'm going with Mark.
All right, we got two potato heads. And David, what would you suggest?
I was going to say Monopoly, but I have a feeling it's potato head just the way you're framing it up.
All right, here comes the surprise. To date, since inception, it is not Mr. Potato Head. Rubik's Cube sold 455 million units. Monopoly sold 275 million units, and Mr. Potato Head only sold 100 million units.
Okay, so it was the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
There
Well-
we go. None of us got it. All right. That makes sense. Yeah.
My granddaughter has, I think, 9 Rubik's Cubes right now, and she tries to buy them all the time. She's 12, and she can solve a Rubik's Cube in 20 seconds.
Unbelievable.
We need to get her in
And
front of an
there
AI
are
engine.
people that can, there's people that can solve them in a lot less than that, but she's doing great at 20 seconds, I think.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's amazing. I can do it in about a minute when I peel the stickers off and put them back on.
That's me, Alan. That's me. You nailed me. You know my secret now. I'm ruined.
Yeah, you're ruined. All right, you've used a hair dryer, they come off a lot easier. So
Yeah.
let's talk about something a little bit less fun. So as we know, there was a data breach. Loan Depot. It was about 16.6 million individuals in the data breach. It's funny, Mr. Cooper just had one as well. The list goes on. In the feedback that each company has written in their public press releases, they talk about we live in a very unique time with very unique type of people always looking to threaten the security of our systems, et cetera, et cetera. So the feedback and comments they've made in public are very good. But as a consumer, your data, of course, has been compromised. So in this case, Loan Depot, they've determined it's an unauthorized third party that gained access, of course, to sensitive personal information. And they're offering credit monitoring and identity protection services at no cost. So look, you could, it's just like the game last night, right? You can look at Buffalo and say the kicker totally missed the opportunity, but you can't blame the kicker. You have to blame the whole team. So we can't blame just one mortgage company. We have to blame all of the companies out there that have not followed good security practices and have not done a really good job at making sure that our information is safe. We're going to continue to see this. I said it last week, David. I just don't know what will happen in the future. How do you get protection? Because somebody is ensuring at some point the theft and the ability to recuperate from that. And think about the consumers whose information is stolen. The credit cards are stolen, and they're reprinting credit cards and the deep fakes, and it's just we're nowhere. We haven't even climbed Mount Everest yet. That's right.
And with all the positive benefits of artificial intelligence, there's so many things that are to be positive. That's one of the downsides of artificial intelligence. It can get so quickly to guessing or figuring out someone's getting past protocols that it has the ability to test so quickly.
Yeah,
that's the scary part. So I think this problem is
remember,
only going to get exacerbated.
Yeah, Mark.
Alan,
is this the real Mark or the deep fake Mark?
Yeah, I want to share a story with you that happened to me in the last month, and
Please.
for our listeners, I think it's very important. And I'm going to name the bank involved. It's U.S. Bank. I received a credit card in the mail from U.S. Bank. and I never ordered a credit card from US Bank. I picked up the phone and called them, and lo and behold, somebody charged about $2,000 on that credit card already. And it was mailed to my house that I was selling, and I don't check that mailbox all the time because I forwarded all the mail. But this was done afterwards. In one of these data breaches, and there's been so many of them, somebody obviously got my information, filed an application from my old residence that I've now sold. The credit card come in, and I'm assuming their idea was to get the credit card out of the mailbox because they knew the house was for sale. They didn't do that, so I got that, and that led me to make the call. $2,000. And let me tell you how I've been inconvenienced. I've been inconvenienced because that's out there on me right now, and I had to fill out a couple pages of paper saying this is not my charge, it's fraud, blah, 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 and all this stuff. But what really bothers me, I said, let me ask you a question. How can a person make a charge on this if they don't have the card? Because they've never been able to get the whole number, because that's not mailed to you if you don't get the card. They don't have the security code off of it. They don't know the expiration dates. And they said, oh, he or she just logged on and did it. The safety precautions we have of expiration date, account number, and security thing, how in Hades can somebody use a card online without those informations, and how were they allowed to sign on a bank system and get that information when they didn't have the card in hand? There's something wrong with the system on that. I'm very upset.
Yeah, we got weaknesses in our system for sure. Yeah, that's an amazing story, Mark. I think we all have had some level of credit card fraud that's happened to us, and we could go on.
It's 100% true. Yeah, and think about all the websites out there that take payments online, and you think everybody's following really sound, secure practices. So maybe a good suggestion which is a pain in the butt, David, but is to go out and get updated cards so your card information is not out there. But reality is, people can use your information, like in Mark's case, to get a new card. So that doesn't matter either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great report, Al. Appreciate you bringing that to attention. It's sobering, especially when you think of the Loan Depot one. The part that's so scary about the mortgage data is that it's the most comprehensive database on any single human being you could have. The 1003 application's got more data points.
It is.
So it is a target-rich place to go try to steal. It's got the most robust amount.
And David, don't forget about email security and the fact where people are wiring down payments and sending funds for closing, and they're being deep faked in emails and other places, and there's a large amount of money. So hackers could get into someone's Gmail account, as an example, or the old AOL, and they'll monitor it for months and months until they find something that's worthy of them hacking. And at that point, that's when they'll act. And so we have to be very mindful and very careful.
Yep. Alan, one of the things that concerns me a great deal is all the major banks now have where you can send your own wires, and you certainly can do. A lot of them have Venmo and Zelle. I just think that's opened us up for more and more fraud. It's convenient. I got to admit, it's convenient, but man, if somebody gets a hold of it, they can ravage you real quick.
Yeah, I totally agree. And speaking of hacking, David, Mr. Les Parker himself hacked into my calendar, and I'm having lunch with him tomorrow. So I'm sure we're going to come up with some great content, and we're going to talk about data security. I had some other great stuff to talk about today, but I'll tell you what, I think we'll leave it on the edge
on that note.
Of data security. And when you think about your vendors, if anyone listening to this podcast today is talking to new vendors, or you're looking to doing your yearly vendor review and you're thinking, what's that? Make sure that you're verifying that your vendors, their systems, their upgrades, their changes, their partners, everything is SOC 2 compliant, that they're in secure data centers, and that they're following secure practices. And don't be ashamed or don't feel bad asking them. They're asked by everybody. And so you need to ask them for that information. And as from the vendor side, we hate it, but we know we have to do it. Let's try and stay safe out there.
Very good, Alan. Thank you so much. If you want to send in reports or get a hold of Alan, you can get a hold of him at Alan, ALLEN, at tms-advisors.com. Alan, thank you so much for being here. And
likewise,
sobering report. Good reminder. You need to be on top of this. Can't do enough of it.
David, sorry to throw in one more thing, but if you do get hacked, you probably should have some Miller Lite mints handy, just so that you could eat chocolate because you're sad and you can taste Miller Lite.